Just having a little chuckle to ourselves, don't mind us. It's 6 o'clock, as you can see, and the clock is there. Where is it? It's over there. Yeah. So it's time for us to launch a brand new one-day special, and I can't wait. Yeah,
not me.
We should be doing something, shouldn't we? Now, we've actually got 2 hours with you, because Lou is here launching the one-day special, but then we've got another hour straight afterwards with other bits and pieces.
I think I'll put an hat on. I'll take my hat off and put it on there.
I do remember what you were, which different bits you're doing, but the one-day special, always a fabulous deal, always kicked off at 6 o'clock every single evening, and this one is a corker. You are saving £16, and you have got loads of gorgeous pieces within here. Yep. Now you can see here it's Amsterdam, so we know quality. But we've got loads in here. What have we got?
Right, we've got acrylic inks, we've got the 4 fluorescents. Now, the amount of people that say to me, oh my, I'd never use them.
Yeah, I remember these before thinking that.
Absolutely. And when you see me start to mix them and use them as extenders and use them with my brayer and use them with all the other options that we've got, you start to realise that all it is a heightened colour. It's not a fluorescent, as in the sense of glowing.
I remember is the way that you tone them down and change them, and it's kind of like, concentrated orange squash.
Yes, it's exactly like that.
And it's like that, so it means that if that was kind of diluted down, you're probably looking at a much larger bottle.
Absolutely.
Like you are with your orange squash. You just need a little bit for that colour, and that's the intensity. So it is a very bold colour, but I remember you adding kind of different colours to make it more of a chalky finish.
You can make
more
it
of a pastel finish.
Absolutely, and we've got an extender in here now.
Okay, yeah,
Sorry,
what's this?
The glazing medium, and a glazing medium allows it to become a transparent glaze.
Okay.
So rather than it being opaque and covering, it actually creates a glaze, so you can layer the colour on top of each other without it going muddy.
Love that. Either side, I can see a little bit of metallic going on here as well.
These are stunning.
Gorgeous.
I was talking to Julia before, and these, when you put the glazing medium with these, you'll get it's almost like a nail varnish effect.
Oh, okay.
You get that clear, but it's almost like that. Well, sorry,
nice.
I'm trying to look like not female, that's the wrong word, ladylike with nail varnish on, but you get a glimmer on your nails sort of thing. You get the same sort of effect with that.
I love it. This is your one-day special. You've got all the details that you need on your screen there, and you can see from those colours there, the metallics. I mean, that is amazing.
Yeah, and that's just basically me getting the pipette out and just
giving it a bit of a swirl.
Yeah, not trying to go over it 9 times, just once.
Perfect. Now we're going to move on very quickly, because I'm keen for you to be able to see these in action, because obviously looking them at the pots there, unless you know what they're all about, you probably won't be ordering them. So we're going to show you in a few moments. But if you're wanting them, the details are there, 911204. Dispatched from 16th of January, because of course Amsterdam. We're looking at Europe, so of course we have got to bring these in for you first. But that is the first item. We're going to move on quickly to our next item. This, I love this. We've got silk paints, which are fabulous anyway. I mean, painting it on silk or silk-like fabrics, absolutely spot on. But then you've also got your gutter.
And you've got a good
This is
size
brilliant.
tube. And I must admit, when I was looking at the gutters, I've done them. I hope they're not. Where are they now?
No, you're okay.
You do get some gutters that have got a long nozzle, and you don't actually know when the gutter's coming out. Whereas this, the nozzle's absolutely brilliant, because you can make perfect pearls with it.
Got tiny holes on there.
And you can make your pearls on your glass mat as well with it. You can actually just dot it on. And
now you've probably spied already, it's a very 3-dimensional type of paint. So gutter, I remember this, like you said, it's like a gutter. It keeps everything in one place.
Like
so you use that as a kind of circle shape, and you can put colour in the middle.
As long as you connect the circle's edges, or whatever shape edges, it's a complete shape. It won't escape.
Okay, lovely. And is that similar, because sometimes some paints, that when they get absorbed into a medium, they can spread. So that will keep it, so like with fabric and things like that, you can do a barrier. Love it, there you go. You can see you've got your primary tones with regards to your silk paints in there as well, and a brilliant saving, again, £10 saving, bringing them down to £25 and 95 pence. They certainly will do, there you go. Now, image transfer bundle. I was fascinated the first time I saw this, it just blew my mind. And this, you've got a duo.
Right, you've got tracing paper. Now, there are different sorts of tracing paper. I do a lot of work. I did a lot of work at university with old tracing paper, because it's absolutely brilliant to type on, to draw on, to write on, and then still see images underneath. And then, but you can, almost like, like the pink ink ladies, where Kathy does a drawing, and we used to do this. And if you wanted a mistake, if you did a mistake or change the eye, you keep the picture on, just keep putting the transfer over the top and drawing. So it's top quality paper. It's like a parchment.
It is. I'm just thinking, could you use this in that kind of style where if you wanted to make this almost into like a rice paper, stamp on it, ink on it, things like that, and then stick that in place?
Absolutely, all of it. And like parchment, don't use too much water, but it takes more than parchment. Okay. But it will whiten like parchment.
Oh, okay. Oh, interesting to see that going. So yeah, if you want to get hold of that, you can do. And of course, you've got your big tub of your photo transfer. Can't be without that.
No, it's brilliant stuff, that.
Huge tub there. £19.60, £8 saving on that duo there. As you can see, 255,667. Incidentally, anything that you purchase in this hour, don't forget it's Flextravaganza, which means you can spread the cost over 2 payments.
Great that. It's try and get. I'm not going to say it. Not even going to try and
I'm
go
all right
there.
if I get a run up to it and I kind of go Flextravaganza.
Yeah, I'm a bit like that.
But if I pause and I hesitate.
If I take a run at the bath and then I do He said no bombing, that's me.
So I used to love those posters at the cinema.
No, they used to have some rhyme. They used to have some rhyme.
Swimming pool.
Didn't they?
There were some saucy ones there.
Yeah.
No heavy petting, I remember that one as well. Anyway, we digress.
My mum would never tell me what that meant. I still don't know.
I still don't understand why people would be taking the dogs and cats in there. But there you go.
You take your cat in there.
Anyway, we digress. So this is called loose puncher colour.
Right.
Explain.
Right, well these are the colours that are sort of in between, and Sam knows me very well now.
Okay.
And she says, right, and she gave me and she said these colours, and I said, yeah, perfect. So these colours sort of sit in between the other ones. So there's, I like the whole collection, and I'm lucky enough to get quite a bit of it, but these sit with the fluorescents, but they also sit with your primaries. Okay. And the colours that you get mixing the two is just
perfect. Lovely. Well, we'll see that in action again. Beautiful. We're just giving you the details. It's the demos that you want to see how these are working. So very quickly, 905 350 £21.95. Now we've got a huge bundle here of acrylic paints, and this is where I get excited because my Phoebe's got this set.
Yes.
Only with hers, most of these tubes are half.
Well, I remember you asking me about this when I first started here.
But she's had them for quite a while now, when I think about it.
Well, in May I'll have been here 3 years.
Yeah, so it could be that long that she's had them. Now, works out at 97 pence per tube, which is phenomenal.
And I've still got my first set.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've still got my first
she must have had them 3 years when I think about it. She must have done, yeah.
And if you think about a pound and what you can get for a pound, and I know you think, well, that's quite a lot, but on Flexi, when you think you've got the whole collection, no mixing, no worrying about getting the right colour, and you've got light to dark in everything, you've got mid-tones, you've got more tones than you can shake a stick at.
Well, this is it. Now, some of these you might be looking, and I must admit, when I first got this back, and I was chatting to Phoebe about it, with these, you've got multiple shades of, say, yellow, multiple shades of your white. Yeah. But when you actually look at the label on there, the labels are different, because some are more opaque than others.
Absolutely. You've got different names, like you might have, say, I'll use black, for instance, you might have a Mars black.
I'm going to pull out one of these just so as you can see that. I mean, they're beautiful in there, but along here, this is where you kind of got your key, haven't you?
Yeah, and you've got, this is a titanium white, and you might have a soft white. And the crosses mean the opacity.
Okay, so the more crosses, the more opaque, is it?
No, hang on, let me get it right. The square is the opacity.
Oh, right, that's right, yes, it is,
The square is the opacity.
Because you get some that have got the
if it's
the
half,
diagonal.
It's less opaque. Yeah. But and then you've got a number next to it. Now, we all use more white than the others. Yes. But there are some different, you'll have a softer white. We know with our card. Yeah. You put one white next to another, you think, that's not white.
Hundreds of different shades of white. And that key, don't worry, jump onto the website, you will be able to find it. In fact, I think it might be detailed on the box as well, which I'll look at later on. So, brilliant value for money, £34.98. You've got 72 acrylic colours there. Well, not 72 colours, because you have got some repeats of those titanium whites that we saw at the top there. But 72 bottles or tubes for, as you can see there, £69.95. You are saving a whopping great £50 with these.
That's so worth it, that.
Isn't it just,
Even if you buy it with your friend.
Yeah. Oh gosh, yeah, but you won't want to part with them. And we've got them in the little drawers here. See, I think this is perfect for storage, because you can put those into a drawer quite easily. Rather than just having them rattling around, you've still got them. You don't have to keep them in the colour groups, but I just like them because we stack them on the shelves.
I do, and they've got numbers as well, and then you write your numbers down in case you want extras. But
can I go down and get the box?
What you can do with this, which is something I did, it's a bit dilapidated now, but we've all got box makers at home, and I actually put little handles on there and made them all into drawers.
Yeah. Now, obviously, we've taken it out of the packaging, but this is how it comes to you. I mean, that as a gift for a young artist.
It's really
and
good.
You've always said this, young artists, give them the proper mediums to work with.
Don't give them rubbish, because they'll end up with rubbish, and then they think,
they don't get the right results. Yeah.
And I remember them seeing these, and they were like, and they looked after them, and they loved it, and I look after them, and the room have things now, and they're the only thing in my art room that's tidy are them.
Yeah. And the beauty of this is all that information is detailed on their website as well, so it gets the kids or young crafters or any crafter, any artist, budding artist, to go and do the research and understand the formulation of the paints. That's the thing that I love about this. It's training you to become an artist. 880-004, £69.95 if you want to get hold of those, please do so. We're going to head down to the demo area. We're already 10 minutes in, so let me show you some of the other things that we have got. We've got your palette knives. Your palette knives come with your fabulous pearl medium. This is brilliant. We've also got some wonderful things. Check out on the website, there's loads for you to look at, but if you want these, $14.99, 3 palette knives there. We'll be seeing these palette knives in use during all the one-day special shows, 003169, and of course Lou will explain to us all the reasons why we're needing these. Now I've got something else to share with you. These are brilliant. You've got your scrapers here, but you've also got your shape and scrapers, paint shapers. That's not easy to say, is it? Shape 1 and scraper, and 3 times paint. Yeah, you're getting that on your screen.
Yeah, you get 3 silicone.
Oh, that's right, they're silicone, aren't they? Yes, yeah. So they kind of, you can scribe with these, can't you?
They're great for glue and everything, because you can clean up all the areas. You get different textures. It's a bit like when you were tiling with that, but you get lots of textures with the scraper
Perfect.
as well.
£9.95 if you're wanting those, 408150. As I say, we've got all sorts. We've got some fabulous pens featuring. We've got things like your gesso as well, transparent gesso. We've got that back again. Pick and mixes. There's loads on the website. Have a little look, but we will touch on many of those as the hour progresses, I'm sure.
Right.
But the one-day special.
Right.
Do we need to be frightened of these colours?
No, not at all.
Okay, why?
We see this, and we go, oh, they're horrible. And yeah, I can understand people saying that, because that's incredibly
bright. It's an intense colour, yeah.
But what you need to think is that if you have bright colour to start with, it's going to stay brighter as you mix it.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to show you now, and I am very silhouette.
But it's like a more intense colour. It has got more versatility than a pastel tone.
Absolutely. So if my lovely Molly will pass me the sponges I've left on the other counter. I'm so sorry, guys. I've been running around today.
Well, you kind of spread over 2 sets, aren't you? Because
you've got a bit here and a bit there.
Okay, so that's the yellow, which is lovely.
This is yellow, yeah.
Lovely eggy yellow, I like that.
It is beautiful, and you don't use a lot. You can use it this way. I've used direct, a tiny bit of water on your sponge, not a lot. And
no way.
Now,
oh my goodness.
You don't need a lot. So you just put it on one area. Now, I would say normally 3 areas. Now, that's completely toned that down, if I show you that.
Yes.
It's still bright, but it's not as in your face.
Okay.
But the beauty is, when you start to add ones near it, so I'll just show you. I'm going to do a full page in probably a couple of minutes. So you put a bit of that next to it. Again, use a little bit of water for your mixing. And it's not the water, you're actually just applying a little bit of dampness to the sponge.
Okay, so it's not sopping wet. Oh, again, look at that. See, that looks more peachy now.
Yes. Well, there you go. Now, that has now gone with the yellow, and we've made another colour in between.
Fabulous.
So that's...
like that.
That's totally different.
See, if you were to show me those, and then show me those, I think, no, hang on, that's a different set. Well, I'll have that set, please.
Yes, exactly. People do that. And it's only when you see things and you see little demos and you think, wow. And that's what's nice about we get to demo really well here, and it's...
Oh, that's nice pink as well.
And it's
like a cerise now. It's not fluorescent, it's more of a cerise.
And I love this orange that we get here. I mean...
Do you know what? Looking at these colours, in my head, I'm thinking Jane Davenport.
Absolutely.
Because it's kind of that kind of artistry.
Absolutely. And Jane's very much into colour, very much bright, and Marlene is.
Yeah,
and
happy colours.
Yeah, and they are all really nice and bright. Now, all depending, I put a little bit more on.
That's nice. So you're adding water to these, but I mean, could we add like a clear medium, a clear gel medium, and get dimension with these and all sorts?
So I've got that now.
Okay.
And I've got those mad colours there.
I love it.
What I would do now is you start to think about, right, I've got them all here, so excuse me.
So that's kind of like your first layer.
Yeah, your first layer.
Right.
So what you need to do now is think, right, well, what am I going to do? And I'll start to add with a brush.
Okay.
Start to add colours over the top. So I'm going to look at this orange here, and I'm going to
now
use
this is the orange that actually ended up looking quite peach.
Yeah, so that's that.
Yes.
So I'm just going
remarkable. See, again, even just taking it neat, it doesn't look quite as bright or garish as it is in the bottle.
No, and you need
that
to...
looks fabulous.
You need to sort of... This is what you need to do, is be able to sort of play.
Yeah.
Now, you think orange and green, right, they do look a bit like the clash. Well, that's what you want, because what you don't want is to... It's supposed to be bright and vibrant, but this is a test page, so this is what you sort of say, right, well, I used the fluorescent orange and I used the yellow, and I like this colour here. I'll keep that. Yeah. So in future, you know to use that. You do need a test page in all of your work so that you know what the colours look like when they go on top of each other. So I'm just blending those together, quite like that. But you can see the pink is still the most prominent one.
Yes, yeah.
So you know that you're going to need less. So I wanted to see what the pink looks like just here on this orange, and just to see.
When you're actually putting it down, you're not actually using the dropper as such. It's just what's actually on the dropper. You're not squeezing the
not
kind
at all.
of button at the
you
end.
don't need to, because it's so concentrate. The only thing I will say is make sure that you do clean it, because it's an acrylic. Don't forget, you'll get a skin.
Right.
And that's natural. It's natural. It's totally natural. It's just the air. It's a bit like anything when you get a skin like on your rice pudding. It's because the air's got to that little bit. So now we're going to use the green on the pinks, and I really love that, because I think that's really soft.
But it's kind of knocking that pink back a bit now, isn't it? Yeah.
So what we can do now is we've got these, and I'm going to use a little bit of the gold and silver on it. And you're going to... Now this is where the extender, which I'll use in a minute.
Okay.
It adds its own.
So far we've used most of the elements within the one day special. Now I didn't expect this to happen, because that's quite an intense silver. In my head I was looking at it thinking, it reminds me of like silver enamel paint.
You can do it like that.
But that is just like, can I give that a little bit of a, can you see it?
Yeah, you can now.
Can you see how you kind of got it? Let me turn it around that way. So you can see it's kind of this area here, and you've got that kind of shimmer there. And that's where I thought it quite a kind of elegant pearlescent look to it now.
It's really
with that
beautiful.
kind of silver here.
But you can put that in your pen, you can put it in anything, all your...
Could you put it in a water brush or something like that?
Absolutely. All of this. Now, I've done this, and just to show you that that's what you don't want. If you could just see in the top, I know these guys are great.
Oh, you can see it's kind of got like a milky...
that's the carrier.
Right.
Now, if you don't mix it, you will just get the carrier.
Okay.
So that's why you do need to mix it. But
that shows the intensity of colour that you've got in there. Yeah, it's not like you've got a little tiny bit at the bottom and the majority of it being carrier.
You'll see a lot of it where you'll end up all carrier there and then a tiny bit like you said.
Yeah.
But no, this is only a tiny bit at the top. Yeah. And then this, you get a wonderful... you just need a little bit. But if you add a little bit of the pink or the orange, you get a rose gold.
Wow.
Which is stunning. So let's try a bit of the gold. And you get, this is where this gold comes into its own, because this then becomes what we call a wax. I can add it, I can add wax to it actually and make it a gilding paste.
Oh, okay.
So I've got all that done there. Now, I've got no mud there yet, no mud. And that's because I've extended,
actually,
no mud whatsoever. If I wanted to, I'll add direct to it and just show you.
Okay.
Now, that will stay that bright. Unless
so if you were to step away from that, would that eventually dry just as that?
Absolutely.
Right, okay.
And then I can make it as strong as I want or as light as I want. So if I want to just... Now, bear in mind, this is a test background. This is what I'd like everybody to try and do. And then you really get to know the product. You really understand why you would use it like that, where you would put it. And it's this is what we don't do with our products. We sort of get the packet, open it, and then leave it. You need to allow yourself playing time. That's what I'm doing this year.
Yeah, and give yourself permission that if it doesn't go right, it doesn't matter.
That's no problem with that.
It doesn't have to be right every single time, but the thing is, most times it is right. It just might not be the results that you were expecting, if that makes sense.
Half the time, though, when you start to think about the stuff that you've done, the experiments, if they've gone wrong, are probably the best stuff you've done.
Can I show that again, Lou? I'm
Absolutely.
not sure if you'd finished or not there.
No.
Can you see?
I need to let it dry a little bit.
That's where that silver went. Doesn't that look amazing? But in another light, you're not losing that intensity of colour. Over here, you can kind of see the gold again there. That is so bright, but it's not an in-your-face silver tone.
Well, we've now changed our...
You can still see the texture of the cardstock in there.
We have changed that brightness.
That is phenomenal.
And I'm going to do it on this pearl now, just to show you.
So once that's dry, can I use that in the same way as any other stamp on it, die cut it, anything like that?
It's an acrylic, so it's permanent. And when that's... I need to get it, leave it to dry, because I don't want to create... You won't get more, but I don't want to lift that colour.
Yeah, you need it to set itself.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do is show it what the colours look like on... Now, this is the pink frog card.
Oh, the pearlescent cardstock.
It's absolutely stunning. I love this stuff. And I want to show you that this will then become a shimmer.
Oh, okay, right. So this bright orange that looks, in my mind's eye, when I saw this, this is not going to knock you out. If you go out with a fluorescent jacket on like that, you're not going to get knocked over, are you?
Well,
but you're going to turn that into...
Rose gold.
Rose gold.
Or we can do with a pink gold, and we can do green gold.
Ooh,
or we can do a yellow gold.
Yeah.
So each one of these mixed with gold, you'll get a pearlescent, but you'll get the rose, the
like
colour.
alchemy.
It is. So you just start with a little bit. We'll go with the pink.
Okay.
And then we'll get the rose happening. You see it?
Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, right. Okay.
So...
And then, of course, you mix, you just decide if you need more of that gold.
But if I lift it up, you'll be able to see the rose.
Now you can see that rose gold there now, yeah.
So I'll use the same, but I'll use the orange, and we'll get a softer look with this one.
Oh, this is fascinating.
You'll get a softer look with this. So it's still rose, but it's a softer look. So
wonderful.
And then you get, I mean, you can see shine on that.
That is fabulous.
And then just to prove a point, I'll show you what it looks like with the green. And you can get the same effect with the silver, but you're going to get, these are all warm metallics.
The final element that we've not touched on yet is the, you called it as an extender, but what's it officially called?
It's
the glazing medium.
I'm going to use that now.
Okay, fabulous.
I'm just going to show you what I mean about adding the gold to everything and the silver. You'll make a green gold now.
Mm-hmm. Now, we've had lots of you placing your orders for the glazing medium by itself. That has now sold out, so it's only available in the bundle that we've got with you one day special. We will see that in action. I will do a quick review for you in a few moments, because no, I want to see the glazing medium in action first.
Oh, right.
Because lots of people have got the one day special sitting in their basket, but they've not checked the basket out, and I think it's because they want to see all the different elements and what you can use, so I think it's important that we do see that. We are busy though for the gessos as well. We've got the gessos here, so if you have got those gessos in your basket, perhaps add those in. We've got a pick and mix with these, and they're huge pots. So you've got your black gesso, so it could be that you want to go for 2 of those. Well, you can do, it's your pick and mix. We've got the white, it might be that you want to take 1 of each. Well, that's fine, or 2 of the white, it's your pick and mix. But what we have also got is the transparent. Now, this is brilliant, because this means, you know how you can prime a surface using your gesso if you're wanting to? Well, when you're working with acrylic paints, what they do is they form that kind of skin that we heard Lou mention to. So quite often, you can't stamp on top of that skin, because it is that kind of surface. It's almost like a layer of plastic on top of your colour. The transparent gesso can sit on top of there, and what that means is you can then stamp on top, because this is kind of creating a barrier then. It's priming that surface, ready for you to go in with your next colour. I think that's right.
Yeah, it is. And then I've just done this card. You can see now.
Look at that.
And all I'm going to do is quickly show you with it. And I've got green on here, so it will change the colour. Okay. But I'm just going to add a little bit more texture, just a tiny bit. I don't want too much.
So is that using the wet sponge that you had before?
And I'm just going to, you'll see it when I move it. I'm just going to add a little bit of the pink where the pink and orange were, but I'll show you what happens with the glazing medium. Just see it now. If I lift that up, you can just see the pattern happening. Yeah, it's just subtle, isn't it? Very subtle.
Like that.
But then it builds up and builds up.
Wonderful. And the glazing medium, how do we use that?
Oh, well, that's so simple. I'll show you what, I can show you on these.
Would you rather me step away and come back?
Not at all. Not at all. What I'm going to do is I'll use it on a different colour. I'll use it on this.
And I'll put this is like the drying area.
Yeah. So we can have these colours, and they can be quite transparent, but what you want to do...
Nosy. Glitter cards?
Oh, yeah. This is stuff I'm not going to use.
Well, that's not really you, is it? That kind of rare.
But You ready?
No, you're not.
Yeah, it works really well. It tones it right down. I mean, it might be a bit bright, this, but it will work.
Oh, gosh. So it does, yes.
It takes that.
Oh, my goodness, that's amazing.
And I'll go with a pink, and I'll show you.
It kind of turns it into almost like a suede effect cardstock, because you've got the texture from the glitter, but the glitter's not really coming through.
Yeah, it's not. It's knocking it all back. Yeah. So you can see now you've got. I think you've got more use out of it. You can still see what we can see, like a glimmer in the background, but it's not in your face. Yeah, it works with. I could put the green on that. I mean, it might be a different colour, but these, what I mean, it's like a layer. You can use all this and create layers. Things that you wouldn't normally be able to do, but all with fluorescent colours. See, that's dulled it right down and made it more brown. Yeah. But I really like that. So don't be put off by these colours. Anyway, that's the back. Okay. Right. Flip on. That's doing me being nosy. No, it's good to know. Glazing medium is really important because what it does is you can get a matte or a gloss. I think, I'm not too sure the one in it. It'll tell you. Gloss. And it'll just tell you there. I'm using the matte one. It's simple to show you what it does. It actually, right, here we go. Is that it? Oh, crying out, I'll use yours. Okay. Oh yeah, use that. Right, again, hey man. I won't do that, my bingo wins. Right, give it a good shake. But what happens is, it then extends everything that you've got here into a beautiful glaze. So I'll put out a little bit of that. You don't need a lot. I would suggest that you can get a cheap pipette. Okay. And just like add a little bit, or you could just put a blob there. Right. And then add it to it. Now, what I'll show you is I'll use a clean brush. Now I've got this. I'll put a little bit more. I'm being really stingy with this. Now, within the bottles, these are acrylics. Yes, these are all acrylic. They can dry quickly. Yeah, and that's what that's acrylic is plastic, so. And once it's dry, it's set. There's no adding water to it once it's dry. It's permanent. That's it. It's permanent. So I can build up layers, and it is pretty opaque. So it's like a full colour. Okay. But the minute I add this to it, right, I can get. Oh, okay. And I can build it up because it's here longer. So I can actually, what we call, brush that out now. Okay. So I'll get a bigger brush. I can now really brush that out. Whereas showing it you with that way, can you see it's just so straight there's nothing you can do with that now. No. But I can actually put, like on furniture or anything, I could put a glaze. So this will stay shiny. So could you go back into the area where you've worked and kind of smooth? You've got a certain amount. You've got a certain amount of time. Now you can apply colour while it's still wet, and then glaze it in, or you can put it in. It still dries pretty fast, but you've still got a lot of time to play with it. Whereas the other one, flat, that's it. But I can work on all this area here. I can build up. Kind of, in my simple brain, I'm kind of thinking of it's almost as if you're using it in one scenario like this. It's almost like it's set in it's gone into the cardstock and it's not moving. Whereas on this one, it's sitting on the surface. It's kind of sinking down slowly. It is. It's rather than just going straight into the card. Absolutely, that's perfect because it's just allowing it more time. Yeah. And so more time means that you've got more time to work on it. So I can now build up layer and layer and layer. Nice. Yeah. Just by adding that medium. So although you might think, well, I wouldn't use that, you actually might do. Well, I do when I'm using the edges of, I'll bring it up so you can see it better. Yeah. The edges of canvases and anything else, you get a wonderful glaze. Love it. Perfect. So wonderful. I'll use it on some paints. Okay. And show can I borrow that back again? Absolutely. Reason being is I'm going to give you guys a little bit of a review while you get yourself ready, if that's okay. We've been talking about the one-day special, launched at 6 o'clock, but something else that you've found and you've been popping into your basket is this duo set here. So here you have got your thickening medium. You've also got your pumice coarse, which is your medium coarse, so it's not too gritty, this particular one. It's £19.98. Oh, it looks like something you should put on your face there, doesn't it? It look like a face pack in a pot.
Don't put it on your face. 403016 if you're wanting to get hold of those. £19.98. And of course, you've got a same £10 saving on those. Something else that I think is a fabulous bundle is this. Have a look at these colours. These look incredible. These are your Ecoline brush pens. 29 of those brushes with your brush blender. We will probably chat about these as the hours progress, but these £45.99. You are getting all 29 of those. It's actually 28 colours, but with the blender in there, of course, it gives you more opportunities to blend those colours and get your perfect combinations. 2 flexi buys are £23 on those. Now, we've had a bit of a whistle-stop tour of our counter and a little brief look around our one-day special. I say brief, we've seen 3 different kind of demos with that, so shows you in that short space of time just how versatile these are. And what you've got with these colours is a very intense colour, so you can see there, you've got the gorgeous bright pink. You've got that kind of orange tone in there, that gorgeous green and the fabulous yellow. Now, I will grant you, they look rather in your face at the moment, but as we've already seen, you can tone these down beautifully, whether you're adding water, whether you're adding that glazing medium, whether you're adding things like it could be that you put your gel medium in these, you want to get your texture. It could be that you're adding them into any of those transfer mediums. Anything that you add these to, you can extend the colour off, but then you've got your metallics. Here you've got your gold and silver, again, fabulous. They're called inks, but they're not inks in that kind of ink kind of way. They're acrylic, but in an ink kind of style, if that makes sense. You've also got your medium there that we saw a few moments ago, and as already in that short space of time, we have seen how you can take those bright tones, add them to your cardstock and get this kind of result. That gorgeous shimmer that you can see, that haze of gold down at the bottom there, that's where you've got your gold featuring there, just brushing that over, the silver again there, and this is a perfect backdrop. Imagine things like your Jane Davenport stamps on top of there. Imagine your kind of your sentiments, your focal point images, your words of inspiration on your journal page. Absolutely, but even if you just come with, say, a black micron pen and you just start doodling around the edges, so you know your wiggly lines and your little, what I call like your barbed wire elements going across. Wow, 10% of the stock has gone. Now, obviously, I'm going to step back and see Lou in a few moments. We're going to be seeing more from this, but now is the time for you to be placing your order. I'm not offended if you're on the website, if you're on the phone lines. Do get hold of these because I want you to get hold of them, because the thing is, over the next 24-hour period, we have got so much you are going to be able to learn with these. But the thing is, pop them into your baskets. You will see that these are brilliant to go for. And as I say, you'll have all those demonstrations coming up. If you're wanting these, 911204, £32.95. Now, you're saving £16 on this. So when you look at that, it's like you're saving a third, really, isn't it, with the price? Because you've got 2 lots of £16 would make you £32. So that means you're saving a third on this one. Bear with me, that's the way I do my maths. Just going to apologise. But the beauty is you can spread the cost. Now, normally, with a one-day special, you're waiting until it gets to around that £60 threshold, maybe sometimes a little bit lower with a one-day special. But of course, because of Flextravaganza, you can spread the cost of that over 2 payments. Works out at just £16.48. Now, I bought a coffee on the way home from work yesterday, and I went through the drive-thru, and it cost me £4.50 for one coffee. So that shows you the value for money that you've got here. I know, it's one of those ones, it was all kind of like starry, kind of. That's all I'm going to say. It's a starry kind of coffee. Well, you haven't got it for long, definitely. And as you saw with these, brilliant value for money, 911204. Get those into your basket. Do take advantage of those. Now, here you've got your silk paints. Now we'll be looking at these perhaps in more detail tomorrow, but you have got your reliefs at the back here. Now these are called gutter. What these do is they lay down a boundary, but it doesn't have to be a boundary for your silk paints. It could be a boundary for your one-day special. And what it does is it kind of gives you, can you see that kind of relief that you've got there? So you lay it down, you've got a very fine detail nozzle. Almost think of this as, you know, like when you do your leading and your glass paints, that's kind of the result that you get, but you've got such fine detail with this. You could literally draw with this, maybe drawing onto your acrylic if you've got something like that, or onto your acetate, then you can actually peel that off, almost make it into a window cling with those. But again, you can mix it, the clear ones you can mix with your one-day special. If you're wanting these ones, £25.95, we will see those in action at 347932. Something else that we hopefully will see in action action at some point over the next 24 hours is your photo transfer. This comes a huge pot alongside your tracing paper. Tracing paper is so useful. If you're building up a composition and you're not quite sure how to do those layouts, then this is perfect. Perfect for you to use in lots of different ways with your stamping. You know, when you don't want to mask elements off until you know exactly what it's going to look like, you can get your layout all laid down on your tracing paper and get a rough idea of how you're going to work with. But stamp on it, use it as an overlay on your projects. Brilliant medium to work with. £19.60 will get you 50 sheets as well as your photo transfer gel. 255667 if you are fancying those. Then you've got more of those fabulous inks. Now we're busy for these, and I think you'll understand that when you look at these will give you the ability to knock down those colours that we were looking at, knock them back, should I say. So you've got things like your purples and your blues and your primary tones. Primary tones in these ones, well, you've got your bluey hue. It's very dark blue that you're looking at there, but a tiny, tiny bit of that will mean that you can use them with your red and your yellow as your primaries, as you can see. You've always got your true green. I always remember Lou saying that you should have a true green, because when you're mixing your own from your primaries, you'll never get it exactly the same. But then with these, your darker tones means that you can take your one day special and give them maybe a little bit more of a grungy look potentially. That's what you've got. Intense colour with these, intense colour with your one day special, and nearly 20% of the stock has gone of these. We'll see these in action, I'm sure, as well. 605350 if you're wanting them, and an £8 saving with those. Again, spread the cost. Don't forget, we're looking at extended delivery with everything the 16th of January, purely because Amsterdam is an international company and we need to allow time for those deliveries to be made. Now, this is a fabulous set. Every single one of these tubes is full of quality acrylic. Now, these are acrylics that could be added to the extent that we heard Lou referring to earlier on, the glaze. You could use them alongside these. Now, you've got lots of different tubes in here, different intensity with regards to the colours of these. So within these, you will find that every single one of them has got a key. Now, let me put my glasses on and I'll try and explain to you. So you've got ones like that one. Can you see there where you've got the little box, the open box there? That means that is a transparent paint. Now, these little keys that you've got here, this is where you're buying professional grade paints. These will tell you about things like the light fastness. So if you're using it in a painting, how true those colours will stay as time goes on. Then that's the one with the open square in there. Some of them will have half and half. And that's again saying it's not as transparent as that one that we just looked at. It's more intense. This is why you've got multiple colours within here, because you've got the different intensities. Some of them will be like this one, where you've got the solid block of colour, and that is more of an opaque, so that is going to sit solid on top of any colour that you're putting it in with. So that's why you've got that key on there. And as I say, jump onto the Amsterdam website and you'll learn more about that, because you're learning the professional product. That's what it's about. This isn't, you're not playing with kids' crafts. This is proper high quality paint, and this is why we encourage it, and I certainly encourage my daughter to explore her kind of creativity with art using quality products. I didn't want to knock her confidence by buying her something that isn't going to kind of show off her artwork. This is why you should be investing in these, not only for your own personal use, but as I say, for any young or novice artist. And I'll certainly be buying it with a £50 saving. 2 flexi buys, £34.98. Definitely a consideration. I can't recommend these high enough. 880004. Very quickly, just got a few more items to share with you before we head back. Palette bundle. You've got 3 knives with these. Now, Lou was telling me about these. Different sizes, so different areas of application with these, but also you've got different elements of flexibility with these. So if you are wanting to kind of push it through your stencils and things like that, you've got sharp edges there, so of course that's going to allow you to scrape those surfaces as well. Just gives you a good medium there to mix your palette up, maybe using things like your pearl medium. Something that, rather than using a brush, brushes can get all claggy, can't they, as you're working with them. Palette knife is a nice way of using it. Then you're getting your pearl medium in here. Very similar to many of those other mediums that we spoke of. So you can see in there you've got that thickness there, which again, you're going to add any colour to. Your one day special will be perfect with this. And again, it's going to give you that kind of the pearl effect with regards to that when you're getting it into your project. Love it. There you go. 003167. I'm just checking the pearl one. Is that the one that's actually got the pearls in it? No, yeah. It is, yeah. Suddenly thought it's not a pearlescent finish. It's got little tiny balls in there to give it kind of a grittiness. So yeah, but they're clear balls. Is that right? Yeah. Yeah, I remember now. Clear balls in there.
I did a sample there. I don't think it's dry yet.
Oh right. Oh, I can see just a little bit. It's a bit like if it was a dessert, it'd be tapioca. Yeah. There you go. Everybody's shouting tapioca. Can you see those little tiny spheres in there? That's what I was trying to explain to you.
They work great with the ink
like that. And again, use it with your inks, as Lou said there. So get hold of that to extend your one day special. Next bundle that we've got here, this is where you're looking at your thickening medium, and also you've got your pumice in here as well. The pumice, again, these aren't quite dry, but you can see that it's adding that grittiness, and again, add that to your one day special, and you're getting that kind of texture and that kind of lovely feel to push it through your stencils. You can actually mix these two together if you're wanting to as well. Details on your screen there, £9.98. If you fancy those, then do pop them into your basket. And incidentally, all these bands, these different coloured bands, you'll find explanations of how to work with these on the website as well. Not our website, the Amsterdam website. 403016. Now, the scrapers that we showed you on the screen, this is what they are. Rather than using your brushes, as I mentioned before, they can get all claggy. These are fabulous silicone ends, which means that, of course, you can peel anything off there, you can clean them really easily. They've got a lovely chisel tip, as you can see there, so they're going to get right into the nitty-gritty, and you can just use them just in a way of applying anything, whether it's paint, whether it is applying your adhesives, your gel mediums. Absolutely perfect. Scraper speaks for itself. You've got all your different kind of teeth for different edges there to get different results all the way around, and then of course you've got your smooth one there as well if you wanted to just get a smooth surface with your stencils. There you go, £9.95, very affordable. Extra £5 if you're putting that into your flexi basket, so there you go if you fancy getting hold of that. Then your gessos. Touched on these a few moments ago. Pick and mix, you can choose any two of these. Now the transparent, we don't often get the transparent, so I do urge you to get hold of this. The reason being, this is perfect for sealing any surface that's got acrylic paint on there. So if you've been doing one of the effects that we've seen already within this hour, and then you're thinking, oh, I'd love to paint on top of that, then sometimes acrylic paints won't allow you to do that. It's like putting a plastic layer on top of something. You know how sometimes when you're working with acetate, you can't necessarily draw on top of acetate because it kind of pulls that colour almost like raindrops on a window. This will actually put that clear element across it, which means that you can then work on top of it, but still see that colour from underneath. Black gesso, white gesso, we're familiar with those, but of course if you're wanting to prime a surface, perfect, and of course you can mix your gesso in with other things as well if you're wanting to, so if you're wanting your white there, perfect. Next set that we've got for you, $14.50 for two of those. Gosh, I didn't realise that was the price of those. 187,161 for those. Ecolines, these are fabulous pens. You've got a brush nib with these. They are absolutely beautiful. You are getting, oh my goodness, this is such a weighty bundle. All of these, it's a bit tricky for me to actually show you those colours. Can I open it? Can I open it? Of course I can. I've just done it. Right, let me fold that back and just show you. Look at those. Oh, all those colours in there. You've also got your blender over here, so of course that means you can do a smooth transition between however many of those colours that you want into. Two flexi buys, £23, £45 and 99p if you want to go for them all in one go. So 470974 if you're wanting those. Everything's on the website. Check it out. Some of these items you may have seen before. Some of our viewers have shopped for these before, so you might find some reviews on there. But I'm heading back to see Aldo, and you can see there your acrylic inks. There you go, 5-star reviews, and of course those reviews could be for any one of those colours, especially the colours within your one day special, because it's the same formulation, it's just a different colour. And there you go, there's all those fabulous acrylic paints there as well. Lovely. Right, back at the demo area with our Lou.
I was thinking before when we was talking, there's no point in me showing you a finished product because I want to show you this. I just so many techniques for
this
these.
Is what we need to know, isn't it? Yeah.
It's not like to show you, I could show you something finished, but I think it won't show you everything. Okay. What I'm going to do is just, we all have papers we don't like, or papers that are a little bit in your face, or whatever, for whatever reason, we put them away. Now the sunlight, that's a bit bright, that's way too garish for me. Yeah. But I could knock that back with a glaze and make it look vintage. Really? So things like this, I won't show it you raw, but you can start to mix these colours together. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of, no, actually, I'll go with the pink because there's a pink in it. There's a yellow as well. So I could use either of them, but if I use that one, it'd be colder than that. So I'm just going to add this. Just a little bit. And that's probably enough to do the whole page. Wow. And then what I would do is you could get your own paints with this. I'll do it really quick because you don't want to I want to show you loads. You could get your acrylic paint, you can get any other colours, so you might have a brown that you like. I've got a brown ink. Don't know if I'm going to use it, but you might have a bit of brown pen. You could use your Ecoline.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
Draw on this, anything, and it'll give it that edge. So I'm just going to test this. The first thing you need to do is just test whether that'll be enough to knock it back. Yep, that's not bad. I'll put a bit of brown in. Right, can you see straight away we've now got a vintage?
Yeah,
so
it's like a dusky pink now.
It is, and all I'm going to do, hopefully with the glaze you'll be able to see it on this. If not, I'll just...
Oh, right, yes.
So now I'll just do a little bit and see, you've got a vintage feel to that top corner.
Yes, yeah.
Can you see how that's knocked that right back?
Yeah, because that flower was like that one originally, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Can I bring that in?
Yeah.
Let me just turn it around that way. There you go. So you've changed it from that
one
to that.
Yeah. And
nice.
You know, and I can knock them back again with a little bit more pink. Because I've got that extender in it, it's allowing it to move over the top, but without... It knocks it back, but it allows you to work it really finely like that. So that one is now knocked back to pink.
That looks fabulous.
So you've got the yellow warm tones, the pink warm tones, and you don't really... I tell you what, I can even do it with green. I tell you what looks absolutely stunning.
Okay, can't wait. All the gold's going in as well.
Tiny bit of gold with it. You don't need... I mean, seriously, these are the first ones, but still my first ones. So
we've been chatting about all the things you can add it to. Is there anything that you can't add it to that you'd say to avoid?
No.
No. Oil. Because of its being water-based.
Yeah, unless it's an oil it's an oil style with it's got water-based. Then yeah, but no oils. It doesn't really like oils. Right, this one is the same glaze, but this one now is a lot thinner because I've got a little bit of water on my brush. So don't forget. And now I've got a shimmer on top.
See, that's totally different.
No, it's tamed it right down. I could take it even more.
So when you look down here to how it was at the top there,
I mean, that's really bright there, but it's just took that edge off. But what I can do is I can change the whole lot with white. So what I can add a little bit of white gesso.
See, white gesso is one of those things that, I mean, it's brilliant. Quite often we think of it as being like a primer or a base. Yeah. But then you can use it, you can add colour to it as well. Yeah. You're all right there, darling.
These. Sorry, I've got to give it a good old bang.
Just do it.
I can't get it open.
Do you want me to have a go?
Yeah,
I don't imagine I'll be able to do it anymore.
Well, you can use, I'll tell you what you can use. You can get...
Oh, out of those paints?
Yeah, you can get your white paint.
Blimey, what have you done with this?
I know. Stuck in it. That's what I mean. Clean your lid. I've got a little bit of white paint, which acts the same. Come on, He-Man, get this.
This is our molar. You wouldn't want to mess with our mole. There you go. Do your damnedest. She's just going to go.
Yeah. She's done it. Yay! She's done it.
She is.
Right, I've done it with white.
You always want a molly on your side.
You do.
Always.
So now I've put a little bit of white in the extender, white titanium paint, which knocks it back even more. So that's completely knocked it back. Now, what you can do is, if you want, I'll use this. I will use it, don't worry. And I can start to take some off. And I'll get a wonderful sort of texture just happening there because it's repelling some of it. Okay. So I've knocked it back, but I've got texture in it.
I like that, yeah.
I do. But then I would keep this and use this.
Use it on something else.
So this was like the original. It was really bright. So we've got it down to pinks if we want. We've got it down to the vintage colour at the top. And you can see where that is there. That was white. So we've got that. Then this is another one we can do is... Oh, I'll mix it first. Right.
I've just gone off to get these. So how do these work? The
same thing.
I didn't know if you got the puncher colour ones there.
Yeah, got the puncher colour.
Oh, have you?
Right.
So how do they, because we were talking about knocking the colour back. Obviously you've made it quite a pastel-y tone using the gesso. Yeah. How do these have an effect on there?
Well, what you need to do, again, is you need to see, because they'll look different, you need to give them a really good shape.
Okay.
But these...
okay. So why has that got that?
All that is a separation of colour, because the particles of the pigment are heavier. Will go to the bottom, but the extender will allow it. So you'll see.
So on this, I've got the little solid block. So is this more of an opaque colour again?
Totally opaque.
So you might never have used these before, but again, you're getting that kind of tuition on the label there. It's got the solid square in there. So from that, obviously you heard the question that I asked. Are they all? See, that one's more of a transparent. That particular one.
If it's got a half on it. then that means it's half, but this is opaque now.
You see that little tiny square? So that one's transparent, whereas that particular one is solid, so it's more opaque. And that is to do with the light fastness, isn't it?
Yeah.
Ooh.
So this is the colour flat down, and it's quite strong. Although it's an ink, you will still see the surface. It's not like an emulsion paint. However, what I do is I'll just show you now. I'll get that fluorescent, and I'll get the... We'll just put, oh, there it is. Put that back, and then I'll just show you how these wonderful colours can then be mixed into an amazing glaze. So I've got a little bit there. Maybe I should do a bit more. I'm being a bit tight. So we can now mix our own colours, and then...
Ooh, that's a nice colour.
But then I can add a little bit of white and then make it into an ombre, and I'll just show you a little bit better now. So, and we can make it into a watercolour with the glaze.
See, that's quite nice. Adding that punch of colour set, it might be that safety belt for people. If they're finding those colours, they're not quite ready to go as bright, which I mean, you've shown us that it is an easy way to work with, but it kind of knocks it down to something that might be a little bit more palatable at the moment for you.
Yeah, it is scary, but you can add other paints to it, because as long as it's an acrylic, you can add watercolours. But I just wanted to show you that I've gone from adding a full punch of colour to mixing it with a fluorescent and getting a lovely colour, and then just a hint of colour by using it as a watercolour. So you could do all that with the same.
There's a lot of information on these labels actually as well.
And
tell you the different ways you can use it.
It tells you lots of information but without words.
Yes.
It tells you with images, so it's really, really clever. You can use it in your technical pens with a paintbrush. You can use it for your brush letter in your calligraphy pens and your airbrush. I use it now. I've been using it a lot in my calligraphy, and you can use it, as you said, in your water brushes.
So if you've got a fountain pen, could you draw it up in the fountain pen? Oh wow.
Yeah, because as long as it's got a fountain pen nib on it, if it hasn't, don't do it, because the particles are too heavy to it to go through to the nib, and they'll block it. But if it's got a fountain pen nib on it, it's clear to go in.
Think about like mapping pens and things like that. Yeah.
Dip pens are great. Dip pens are great. But I want to show you something else. So all this punch of colour, it is bright. I keep using the bright ones only because they're the scary ones. The other ones are a little bit tame, and you're not so worried. But I just want to show you. So I've got the orange again. Now, I hope some of you may remember, but if it's got medium on it, gel, it's transparent. Yes. And if it's paste, it's white. Yep. So all these now can now be mixed, and you can do all your own colours.
So which one have you got here now?
I have now got the extra heavy gel medium, but any gel medium you can use.
Because we've got a medium one, haven't we? I think. Yeah.
But you can use all them. They're all
the one that came with the not with the pearl. It came with the pumice, I think.
Yeah. It's well, I'll use the ones we've got as well, but just to show you, right, that even though you're using it with that, you still get quite a punch of colour. Now,
so the acrylic thickening, is that something similar?
That thickens your paste into a gel, but it doesn't make it as transparent. It doesn't change the viscosity. It just makes it easier to handle. Like that's hard to handle
because it's very liquid.
Yeah, so it makes it more like a heavy body paint.
Adding corn flour.
Yeah, absolutely. So here now we've mixed this. You can have it as much as you want in there, and we've got a soft orange.
Ooh,
and believe seriously, when that dries, it's almost like what's it called? Like, you know what, resin jewellery that goes a little bit discoloured over years, and it really does sort of change it. I'm going to add, while it's still there, I'm just going to add a tiny bit of yellow to it, and just to push some yellow in, because that will then I'll just show you. You'll just see the yellow coming through, and when that's dry, that will end up being transparent. It's almost like it's floating.
Okay.
And then I always use that.
What's left over.
Yeah, and then give it a wipe.
So this is the thing that's amazing. You've used it and you've got a result, all these different results around the edge there. That is how we kick things off at the beginning of the hour, literally just using it with water.
Yeah, and all I'm going to do is just show you an ombre effect, and I'm going to go back to one of the cards now just to show you.
What sort of time have we got left? We've only got about 3.5 minutes.
Right, I'll just quickly show it you.
Okay.
I'll show you a paste one then, a modelling paste, or you can use a gesso, whatever you've got there.
Should we go for gesso? Because I know the gesso's been a popular purchase.
Gesso, these for the $4.50 each, aren't they?
Yeah.
Something crazy. No, £7 each. Yeah. That's mad. because of the size. You'll get a lot of gessos, and I'm not.
And it's the quality of it as much as anything, because I've bought gessos in the past, and it's kind of been more like a chalk paint.
I'm not.
It's not had any substance to it.
I don't want to sort of knock anybody else's gessos because they're all good, but
I thought we were going to have to call Molly back in for a minute then.
What you need to do is don't do what I do. Now that's clean. It's just that has to be clean. So my advice to you is always make sure that you don't. I've got an habit of scraping on the side, so I'm going to use I'll use the yellow.
Okay.
And this is how you get all your wonderful chalk pastels. So that is really bright.
Okay.
Those people out there going, no way I am ever going to use that. And I quite understand, and yes, I did the same. But once you start to add a gesso with it, you've now got chalk paint, which I can then take a tiny bit and I can make it into beautiful pastel colour just by doing that.
Look how soft that is.
But what I can do is add a little bit more.
It is like a concentration. That's the way that I'm seeing this. It's a concentration of colour.
It is.
Rather than it being that yellow, yeah.
I'll put that next to it. So that's it as is.
Yeah.
I'll just move it over for you. That is as it is, and that is with the gesso. So you can just see, but the gesso now means I can work on top of it. But I can also, because I've got the gesso in it, I'll just show you, I can actually layer on top of the other stuff.
I was just about to say, if you've added the gesso, could you put it on top of the darker cardstock? Yeah.
So I can add now without moving the underneath. You'll still see it.
Yeah.
But it's almost like a shadow.
So if you did that, that's the white gesso, isn't it? If you did that with the transparent, is that kind of sealing that surface and then you could go in on the top?
I'll show you that on there.
Oh, we've only got a minute and a half.
Right, if you get the transparent, the transparent means it's not going to change.
Okay.
It looks
it
a weird
looks kind
colour.
of like a taupe colour.
Yeah, it does, but it just changes it slightly. But what that means now is I mean, you can on this, but if you was using a gel medium that was glossy, you would not be able to write or draw or anything.
Okay.
Now when that dries, I will be able to work back into that with a pencil, with anything.
Can we come back to that at 8
Absolutely.
o'clock? Not 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock,
9 o'clock now, isn't it? Yeah. So,
But yeah, it won't stop it. Anything else can go on the top of that now. That's if you like the background. You might want to change it with the white or the black. The black acts the same way.
Yeah,
you can get some beautiful colours with the black.
But you can see there the gorgeous colours that you're getting within your one day special. You are getting those fabulous bottles. Intense colour, but like I say, think of it as being that concentration colour. Think of it being like your orange squash that you're using the tiniest of amount, then adding your dilution, be it water, be it your gel medium, be it your gesso. Doesn't matter what you're adding to this, but you've got that core colour that you are then turning into whatever you want it to be. It's like an ingredient. It's not necessarily a paint per se. It's one of those elements that's going to give you the usability, and of course that glazing medium will allow you to extend the kind of usability, your working time with that. Do love this. From what I've seen already, it's going to be something that's incredibly versatile.
I mean, I've only touched a tiny bit on it, and I've been so frantic with it, but if you can imagine applying each one of these to your wonderful techniques.
Yeah, you can have loads of fun, and we're going to see more of it at 9 o'clock, so make sure you tune in for more from Lou and Yanis at 9. We'll see you in a moment.